guys, it's me, Penny. Welcome back to WEIR Reading Virtual Story Time. This week we're going to talk about Halloween. I love Halloween, and it's this Saturday. I'm going to dress up in a costume, and I'm going to carve my pumpkin, and we're going to roast some pumpkin seeds. It'll be so much fun. Well, this week for story time, we're going to read a story called The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin by Troiano. They actually made a cartoon movie out of it, and it's really cute too, but I love the story. So we'll have fun reading that after we sing our song. Ready? We welcome you to story time, story time, story time. We welcome you to story time. We'll all have lots of fun. Okay, enjoy Spookley. The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin, written by Troiano, illustrated by Susan Banta. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookley sat there shaped all wrong. He tried and he tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge, he just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times when it's better to be a square. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines and off they go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing. What a sight! Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be a square that night. Suddenly the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out and into the bay. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tipped, again he flopped, again he flipped, and then he stopped right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way, the hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley, the square pumpkin, had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack, with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it all went black. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was brave little Spookley sitting straight, strong, and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew all of the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookley's were the most special that he had ever grown. And the next time, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And, oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. But some were cubes and some rectangular, some were flat and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes. Now every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday, if you'll tell someone too, they'll go tell someone who'll tell another. And maybe one day we'll all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. The end. Okay, so we're going to make our Spookley magnets. Of course, we'll need magnets. I have 2 just because these ones aren't too strong, so I'm going to put one on top, one on bottom. You'll need a piece of cardboard. This is just part of a box. It's 5 by 5. You want to be able to fit 8 popsicle sticks or large craft sticks across. So that was like about the best size. It's going to hang over a little bit, which is fine. You definitely want to lay it out to make sure. If for some reason you don't need 8, that's fine too. It looks like looks like 7 will do. So that's fine. And then you'll need another one. These ones I'm going to paint orange because I'm just going to do a traditional pumpkin. And then I have one more that will go on the back like that, sticking up to make the stem. So I'm going to paint that green. That's that. You'll need glue to glue it on the popsicle sticks. I have green and orange paint. You can use any kind of paint. You can even use markers or crayons. The popsicle sticks are pretty easy to color. Definitely the googly eyes. You know how I love the googly eyes. I have a piece of twine to make a little bow at the top of the stem. And then finally, you'll need a marker or a paint pen, or if you're really good with painting, you can do it yourself, but this is just to make the rest of the face on the pumpkin. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove everything. I have my own tray. This one kind of spins, but I have a tray and I put wax paper down so that I wouldn't make too much of a mess, and also so that when they're painted, they won't stick. So I'm going to start by painting 8 of them. I'm going to paint all 8 just in case. Orange and one of them green. Oh yeah, you need paintbrushes. I'm using the little spongy ones, but any kind will do. Okay, so just finish this one up. And we're gonna let these dry for a while. It shouldn't take too long to dry. The coats I put on are too thick. You can put a second coat on it later if you want. I don't think I'm going to. I think these are fine the way they are. They're all a little different. You can see a little bit of some of the grain coming through on some of them. You can see this one has a little bit of black on it. And I figure that's kind of like a natural pumpkin, so I'm just gonna kind of let it go. So once these are dry, we'll go ahead and move to the gluing step. Okay, so these dried really fast. I did transfer them to a different wax paper because the other one was too messy. But yeah, they're pretty much dry. So we're gonna go ahead and glue them to the board. And this is just cardboard. I'm using tacky glue because I just have it in a squeezy bottle. You can use school glue, tacky glue. I wouldn't suggest using a glue stick because that probably won't work well. So I'm just gonna kind of put the glue on there. All right. And then we're just gonna start gluing these to it. Let's see here. I'm gonna kind of put it on and slide it a bit just so that we might be able to get them all on. I don't know. And you want to try to make them even with each other. And don't worry if a little bit of glue shows through, because if you're using school glue or the tacky glue, or even I think Elmer's glue all or whatever that is, I think it all pretty much dries clear. And oh yeah, I did make them all fit. Haha. I'm a genius. Watch me work. All right, so we're gonna have to let these guys dry a little bit. I am going to do the green one on the back. What you want to do for that, try not to glue it to the wax paper. I'm going to put it up like this between the two middle ones. Just put the glue up as high as you want to cover, because we definitely don't want it all the way to the top. So you're not going to leave a giant stem, but a little bit. And I'm doing it this way with the vertical looking, just because when you look at a pumpkin, they have those creases that are vertical. But you can do it however you'd like. Hopefully this really does dry clear, because that's a lot of glue I got on there. So we're just going to let that, actually might as well, while we're gluing, glue on the eyeballs. So, gotta have the googly eyes. Put one there. And we'll put one there. Okay, so all we gotta do is draw the nose and the mouth, attach the twine and the magnets once this is dry. So oops. That's what it looks like for now. Okay, so everything's dry. This is what it looks like so far. There's the back. So all we need to do now is draw on a face and stick on the magnets, which these are, I'll put those on right now. These are peel and stick ones, adhesive ones. You can always glue them on if you don't have this kind. So go ahead and get those on. I was gonna put them here. One there. And I'll stick one at the bottom just to be safe. So this will stick up, and we'll do that later. But I'm just gonna go ahead and draw the face, and I'm gonna tie the bow, and we'll be done. Alright, so that's it. That's my Spookley baglet. I have him hanging up. I give him goofy teeth and a weird nose. You can do it however you'd like, of course. So I hope you enjoyed it. Well, I hope you all had a great time hearing the story of Spookley, the square pumpkin, and I hope you enjoyed making your very own Spookley magnet. We'll see you next week on We're Reading Story Time. Bye!